It's a show about action and adventure and the Viking culture and who they were, a lot of mythology and brotherhood, and really the heartbeat of it is it's a family saga.
I think what's unique about it is it presumes to take on a subject that we don't know anything about, but we all make assumptions about. And I think what Michael wanted to do is he wanted to find the humanity in the Vikings, and instead of seeing them as these sort of concepts that we like to sort of cast as just, oh, these like sort of thuggish, grunting monsters, but in fact they must have been a people with all the same aspirations that we have for hope and love and connection and fear of loss and all the things that we all experience as people.
What were some of those preconceived notions that you had going in that maybe were dispelled as you got closer into the script?
I guess if I thought about them, I thought about that helmet and I thought about the horns, and I didn't know about their belief system. I didn't know about believing in multiple gods. I didn't know that they believed in destiny, that they believed that there was a seer who could tell them where they were going, and that there's something very spiritual about them that I had never even considered. And what's really exciting as an actor is to really explore that, not as a concept or something that they did, but as something that you embody and that you believe, and that you really have to embrace it, not with any judgment or preconceived ideas, but to really feel that experience of what is it like to think, I can't change destiny. This has already been written and I need to adjust with the information that I have.
Doing my research on women and who they were and their role in the society, they're actually very strong, independent women. Really, I not only do I play a farmer, I also play a loving young mother, a woman who's in love with her husband, and a partnership in their relationship, in their marriage, but also I'm a warrior and a shield maiden.
I like that word, shield maiden.
Shield maiden, and a shield maiden is a woman who fights alongside with a man, and it's part of the shield wall, and her role is to give orders and to see what's happening and really help instruct the shield to move forward or take back, and also plug in the holes of shield walls. That was her immediate role in the shield wall. But I get a chance to play those different roles of being a woman, and as our family gets more status and power, and my husband goes off to different raids, I have a lot more responsibilities with the community and in terms of decision making and the political disputes that I had to solve. So it's a very challenging role, and also absolutely awesome because I get to sink my teeth into it.
I think one of the things that I really enjoyed about my character, and that I think really played into this idea of there being clues everywhere, you just had to be aware of them. She is an observer, she's a watcher, and she's a listener, and there are a lot of scenes that I'm in where I don't speak, but my presence is not accidental, that she's forever accumulating information and storing that information, and that information will become ammunition or helpful in making decisions going forward. And I think when you're in a culture like that, where you feel like there are clues everywhere, you have to be very attuned to everything that goes on around you.
What drew you to Siggy? How come you wanted to play this conniving, queen-esque kind of woman? I don't know if she's a queen technically, but...
Yeah, I don't think she's a queen. I like Siggy. She's exactly the kind of character that I like, and then I think that there's another dimension to her that I have not been able to play before, and so that was really exciting to me. I really like playing these characters that have an inner life and an inner agenda, that have a kind of plan that is sort of working out, that they're working out themselves. And I think she's very much that. She and Earl Haraldson are a team, and there's a plan, and then there's Siggy's plan. And that's obviously just incredibly engaging, just intellectually to play. I also just really liked that she was an adult, that she was a woman who had survived a lot, that had lost a lot. She's lost her 2 sons, and all her security is threatened at this point. And I think to come into a role, she's had this long marriage. She probably got married when she was 12 or 13, but they're very, very connected. But there's a deep chasm between them because he's losing his his will to fight for their position and because they've lost their children. And to come into a role with all that history and all that backstory is such a gift. And I don't feel like I've always had that opportunity. It really is specific to this kind of piece that you would get that.
You're talking about the Earl played by Gabriel Byrne. You want to talk about working with him a little bit?
Working with Gabriel was such a gift to me because the way my role was written was that there were many scenes where it would only be sort of accurate if I didn't speak, but I was there. And the way that Gabriel received me as an actor was that instead of saying, oh, and then here's this prop, which is the wife that sits beside me, he was acutely aware of when I was there and when I wasn't there. And we found purpose in all of those choices. And so he was completely keyed into me from the beginning, and very early on talked about Lady M and talked about the Ceausescus, and we talked about the Marcoses, and we talked about how this was a collaboration, that this was a dictatorship that had to come out of a team effort. And though one person was going to be the voice piece, when we would exit the scene, we always had this idea that now we're going to talk about Ragnar, and what's our move going to be, and how big of a threat do we think that he is, and what should we do next. And so for an actor to embrace what's basically, for much of the beginning of the series, a silent role as a collaborator was exactly what you could hope for. And I just felt so lucky that he saw me that way, and that he took me in that way, and we could build that relationship together.
Like how you've had to become like a Viking expert now that you have the show.
There was a lot of research, because for me, I get really, that's the part that I really love. I love dissecting who Lagertha was. She's based on a real person, and my husband was a king of the Viking tribe, so there's that history and that culture, and that's the fun part, and understanding that they believed in many gods, and that really had a big influence in terms of their belief system and how they were reacted and how they interacted with each other, and that had a big role. For example, being a warrior and being a shield maiden, we believed in, our culture believed then, if you died in war, if you died at battle, you're risen to go to Valhalla, which is their version of heaven. So you needed to die in battle, and that made them, that fearlessness actually gave them a lot of strength, and it made them so powerful as warriors.
Where was all this training for all the fight scenes?
Wow. My first love was martial arts. I started Taekwondo at the age of 7. I got my first black belt at 13 and started my own martial arts school at 16, and I had 3 schools by the time I was 21. So it's so nice to be in Toronto, because this is where I'm born and raised, and coming back here after so many years of living in the States, it's nice to be home. And I got involved training actors and actresses, martial arts and movie sets before I was an actor. And for me, I got a chance to travel to Africa and New York, and seeing what it's like to be behind the camera and seeing other actors and preparing them for their roles or through fitness. For me, it's been so nice to actually incorporate the martial art action side of my background along with character development and really good meaty roles. So that's why I think Vikings is, I'm very proud of it and excited.
So are you training stunt people?
It was great just being on set, because I actually did all my own stunts, and we didn't need a stunt double.
Is that for insurance? The studios allow this?
They did. They wouldn't let me ride a horse, unfortunately, and I really wanted to do that. But it was great, but being a female warrior and being a shield maiden, it was interesting to be one of the only girls on set, surrounded by these Viking men, these 14 men. I think the first 3 months I was the only girl. So when Jessalyn came on board, and having her play Siggy was just such a nice relief to have one woman contact.
You want to show me some moves? I want to learn something. I feel like if I'm sitting beside you, I need to learn some sort of...
All right, grab me. So if someone grabs you like this, so everybody out there, you want to kind of get them first.
Yeah.
And this is a hand lock. So yeah, so that's one way. Or just twist your hand and get them out of the way.
In one word, Vikings.
Awesome.
Oh, with the cameras here too.
Awesome.
In one word.
Yes.
Vikings.
Hot. No.
Oh, that's good.
She's gonna kill me.